All right, so I was talking to Garth about using math exercise, using the math formula in Canvas, and this is kind of funny. It is now 2:22. About 15 minutes ago, my period 6 kids just finished their thermodynamics test. The one that, if you watched the previous video, was about the viral copying. And about half the kids used the exact same work from period 2 with the exact same problem, even though I actually changed the exercise. So they were still putting in that 1255 when the answer they should have put in was 3,418. Okay, so they weren't even paying attention to the numbers. They were just pulling the numbers off whatever the smart kid in period 2 gave them yesterday. So hence, I've actually rewritten the the exercise for thermochem, and for the retake, which is going to be next week, I've actually created an algorithm on a bunch of the questions. I've removed the multiple choice systems, and I've replaced a lot of the multiple choice with formulas. So I'm going to show you how to do that. So I'm in a classic quiz. This actually works in classic quizzes and new quizzes. I'm using classic quizzes because that's the questions that are coming in from ExamView. So take a look. Notice here it says, what is the value of delta G at T Kelvin for a reaction which delta H equals H kilojoules and delta S is S? When you put a variable in brackets, you're telling the computer that you now have a variable you're going to put into your formula. In this case, when you put something in brackets, T, it populates down here. So possible values of T, you can put something in here, get a number. H, possible values for H, S. And then the formula I needed to use was the formula for Gibbs free energy, which is H minus T times S over 1,000. So S needed to be divided by 1,000, multiplied by T, and subtracted from H. And then it's going to give me a bunch of values. We can test our formula just by taking the values you've given and check out the formula, put it in by hand, and make sure it gave you a good result. Okay. Now, for some reason, I have to do this every time I look at this. You have to basically generate options. So if I try to update questions, it's going to say, no, you got to generate some. All right, so generate 50 options. So it's generating numbers. Go away. There we go. And there we go. So here's a bunch of possible solutions that they're going to see. Pretty slick. Okay, so let's go ahead and cancel this. Let's look at another one. This is the one that uses Hess's law. So we're going to determine entropy values by products minus reactants. Go ahead, and now we actually have 4 variables, 4 numbers that need to be put in. So the first one I'm going to call A. The second one I'm going to call B. I'm doing bracket B bracket. Third one, bracket C bracket. And notice it's, oops, hold on. We need to set this to a new formula question. There we go. So I got ABC. And when I set it to a formula question, it was multiple choice. And this is going to be bracket D bracket. And watch what happens when I put the bracket in. A fourth one populates. All right, so I got a bunch of values, right? So entropy values, I'm going to make it really simple. I'm going to keep them between 50 and 150. Okay. B is going to be between 100 and 200. C is going to be between 100 and 200. D is going to be between 50 and 100. Okay, so these are the possible values that are going to come up. And then I got to put the formula in. And the formula is going to be 3C plus D minus A plus B. So I'm going to put in, see if I can keep this on the screen. I'm going to open my parentheses, 3 asterisk times the value of C plus D, close my parentheses, minus, I'm just going to put these in parentheses because I like parentheses, A plus D. Okay? So products minus reactants, 3C plus a D minus A plus B, and save. So I got 121 by weird coincidence. There we go, 293. I'm changing the numbers around. So it's taking these numbers, going through this formula. So I need 3 C's, 194 times 3 plus the 78 minus the 138 and 192. That sounds about right. And we're good. So we have our formula. Now I'm going to offer the kids 50 different options. And I'm going to give them an error of 2. I always give them an error of 2, even though honestly they're whole numbers. They shouldn't get them. So generate. Now when they take this test, each of them is going to get a different A, a different B, a different C, and a different D. And these are the possible options that are going to come up. Okay. Now the good news is I've checked this. So you can't, for instance, in chemistry, you cannot have a negative entropy. So luckily there are no negative values. Because if it was negative entropy, that couldn't happen. Those are the final answers. Update question. Now when they take it, it's not going to be a multiple choice question where they can just choose what Bobby or Janie got. They're going to have to ask Bobby or Janie how they got their answer. So hopefully that was cool. Hopefully that made sense. I'm certainly going to be using this a lot next year. Pretty much all my tests are going this direction because I love it that Canvas grades it for us. I did check today with a couple of kids that did do their work in the thermochem. The algorithm does work. I was thrilled. So I love that you can give them an option. So because in chemistry, they might be using a different periodic table that might give the number off by a 0.5 or a 0.6. And you can give them an answer. The answer is 402. Give them answer 402 plus or minus 5. Pretty neat. Anyway, hope that helped. If it did, let me know. If it didn't, then, well, tell me how I could improve. All right, have a good day. Finish strong, 4 weeks left.